First question of the night, based on a coin toss once again, goes from Councilor Balzotti to Mayor Harrington. Councilor Balzotti.
Mr. Mayor, we have referenced this report from the federal government, and it specifically says that the recipient lacked, the recipient being Building a Better Brockton, lacked the staffing to administer the program effectively, and in addition, we found potential conflict of interest issues among the recipients, its board members, and several sub-recipients that would receive NSP funding. And we are concerned about the recipient's ability to administer potential NSP2 funding until such time as it can be satisfactorily addressed and demonstrate adequate controls over the areas of financial reporting and procurement, staffing, and conflict of interest described below. How can you continue to allow and defend this organization who now has a report from a federal agency saying that they are not in control of their funding mechanisms? How can you make this and tell people with confidence that this is somebody or an agency that they can feel safe with the federal funding that's coming in?
Well, Council, let me, and I hope you're not offended by this, but if you have business experience in dealing with audits, you would understand that when those audits are done, that the first step that is done, there's an exit interview, and you sit with the auditor, and there's another part of that report, which was the response of the corporation, where they spelled out step by step the things that we've already done to take care of those issues. And as I said earlier, what happened is we set out to put together an organization that was going to manage around $1.5 million. In a very quick period of time, because of all the stimulus dollars and other things that were going on, the NSP money, neighborhood stabilization money, we found ourselves going to manage $7 or $8 million. We weren't prepared for that. So what we had to do was restructure the organization. We brought in an outside auditor and CPA who came in, made recommendations to the corporation, and in the exit interview, we gave those recommendations to the HUD. I didn't, the corporation did. Gave those recommendations to the HUD auditors, and they said that they would put that report with the HUD report. And it spells out specifically all the steps we're going to do to answer all the things that they said. And they seemed quite satisfied when the meeting was over at that thing. The only issue that is still outstanding is the issue on the potential for conflict of interest. And that issue basically revolves around the fact that some of the members of the Brockton 21st Century Corp and some of the members of the Build a Better Brockton are also, because they're good community advocates, belong to boards of nonprofits, other boards they sit on. And so what the HUD is saying is that some of those boards that they sit on may receive funds. And even though those people that are on those boards aren't getting any financial interest in the nonprofit, they're just doing it to help the nonprofits out. So those are the potentials that they're talking about. And we were very clear, I was very clear, that if anybody is in a potential, and HUD had agreed to sit with the city solicitor's office and work those issues out. If they determine, they never mentioned the people or anybody that would be involved in that. But what they said is, when they work that out, if they say that XYZ person is going to be a potential conflict of issue, then their responsibility is going to get off of the BBB board or to get off the nonprofit that they're on. And that's what we've agreed to do. So those issues are being worked out. But I feel extremely confident this volunteer business organization has all of the potential to manage these things going forward. Because I know, because I lived through it, I know there's no way in heck we would have got the money that we got if the old operation was still in place.
Thank you. That's time, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Balzotti.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I still think it's just a little scary that an organization without any accountability, made up of non-city residents primarily, will control millions of dollars and the destiny for our city for probably the next 30 years.
Council, these non-city residents you keep talking about own and operate multi-million-dollar businesses in the city. These are people who have a bigger stake in the city than most all of them. They have their businesses here. So they have a real stake in this thing. So to say that they somehow are bad or scary, I mean, I know that watching the people and the quality of the people that are on there, that eventually when we get over all these hurdles, this is the right way to do this. If I didn't think it was, I wouldn't be doing this. Everybody knows me well enough. If I don't think something's working, I change it. This is working, has the potential to do exactly what we put it in place to do. And yes, we have some growing pains. And yes, we got to get through those things. But as businessmen, we understand what the task is to be done, and we know how to get it done.
Mr. Mayor, I still believe that there's a lack of accountability and transparency for this organization, and I still believe that we should have far greater control and accountability from this group of individuals and the money that they have.
You know, I find it interesting that you say that, because there was no accountability when the Brockton Redevelopment Authority had that money. They never reported to the council or anything. Matter of fact, I never can remember you ever calling them before you, like you're doing with this current organization, election year. I have never, you never had, the planning department not having any control over any of this money. They had nothing to say about it. Nobody in the city did except the mayor. That's what the statute is written, that the mayor is in control of those funds. And that's the way it was, that's the way it is now, and that's the way it'll be later.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the Brockton Redevelopment Authority was primarily Brockton residents and led by a Brockton resident. And we were well aware and always had communication with him, no matter what. So
Are you suggesting that if you're not a Brockton resident, you're not capable of doing any of this?
I'm not suggesting that, but what I'm
Well, that's what you're saying.
What I'm suggesting is that I would like individuals with a vested interest in living here to be involved with the money.
Council, I'm a member of the board. I live here. The city council president's a member of the board. He lives here. We don't have any issue with it. The treasurer is a member of the treasurer of the corporation lives here. Many of the people on the board live here. And the ones that don't live here, as I said earlier, run multi-million-dollar businesses here.
And they are the majority of the board.
Thank you for that, all right?